My name is Brianna, and I welcome you to the Tales of Adventure, a D&D podcast like no other.
I'm Kix, and I play Discordia.
Those are some very impressive tattoos you have there. Is there a story behind them?
Oh, yes, lots of stories. So many.
Didn't mean to approach you so out of the blue there. My name's Estrada. I'm new to the area. What's your name?
I'm Discordia. Lovely to meet you. Sorry, I'm not used to people coming up to me like this. I'm a bit strange looking.
Apologize if I startled you or anything. I'm used to striking up conversations with a variety of people. I travel a lot.
Oh, a traveler. How long have you been here?
I came here quite recently. I have friends and connections everywhere, and I heard a rumor of some just strange magic. Nothing big, but there's something could possibly have been attributed to some sort of reincarnation. So I was curious and wanted to come see what was going on. Plus, it's a rather nice area.
It is. Well, the magic you're thinking of is probably somewhat surrounding me and my friends. Yeah, I was dead 5 years ago. That was weird.
Sounds like you have a rather interesting story there. Would you mind sharing it?
Oh, I wouldn't mind at all. It's rather strange, so not sure if you'll believe me, but fact is stranger than fiction.
I have found that to be true, and also I'm good at telling when people are lying.
Well.
Plus, as long as it's entertaining, I see no harm. Would you care for a drink?
I would love one.
I have no idea what they have here, but surely there's something good.
Well, my Sakido is the expert on alcohol, but he's not here, fortunately.
I can get the sort down to whatever it is most popular.
Yeah, I'm not much of an ale drinker, but maybe this time.
You can have something else, whatever you prefer. I can also order food.
Food is good.
Food is very good, especially when it comes to drinking, and just in general. So you say you have a rather long story.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to start at the beginning, or wherever you feel most comfortable?
Well, the beginning happened, I actually don't know how long ago. I am 276 years old.
You look like you've aged very well, considering.
Thank you. Well, being immortal in a time dimension for 200 something odd of those helps with that. Also being the daughter of a god of time and death. Yeah, that's...
I was not expecting that.
No one does. I was born from chaos incarnate. Yes, quite a mother to have, because my father didn't want his chaos. He wanted to be completely lawful because his lover somewhat had died, the goddess of space. Never knew her, obviously, because I was formed after that. And he threw out all his chaos, and boom, me.
I have to say, that's one of the most unique stories I've heard so far. And that's saying something.
Really? Well, I'm glad I can make the record. I'm gonna avoid all the weird psychological effects that being born, fully grown from chaos has. I had 270 odd years to deal with that.
Seems an adequate enough period of time to get used to that.
It also lets you pick up a lot of hobbies.
Very true.
I learned how to do tattoos, how to sew, several musical instruments, learned lots of languages.
Are these tattoos your own work?
Oh yes, they are. All of them.
They're very well done and impressive. Not quite sure how you did some of them, but I guess it makes more sense knowing where you came from.
Yeah, dimensional magic is weird.
That it is.
So, I haven't actually told anyone this ever, so I hope my secret is safe with you. I feel like it is.
It is, and plus I have a ring that makes it so no one around can quite hear what they're saying, so...
Oh, that is good to know. I basically wanted to not exist. I wanted to cease to exist because there was no reason for me to exist. So I figured the way to get myself to no longer exist would be to get the god who formed me to acknowledge me, and then I would no longer be outside of, I guess, the original place I was from.
And how did that work?
Oh, not very well at first. He's real good at ignoring, let me tell you. Basically, worst father ever by any standards. He basically ignored me. I set things on fire, and I messed with his plans, and did basically everything in my power to get him to notice me for 273 years. And then I met a party of adventurers that my father had offered an inn to, and they said they could help me.
How are they going to help you?
Well, basically one of them was a paladin who wanted to become a god of time and death, so he wanted to get rid of my father. And the other one, a cleric, had studied under the goddess of space, and he wanted to become the new god of space. So they were trying to restart the gods in a way. It had happened before. That's how my father became a god. So I helped them get the gems they needed, and it worked. But it worked differently than I thought it would at first. Vizar, the cleric of the space god, offered to me when he became the god of space, he would give me a soul. So I could actually have a life after it was all said and done. Which is very kind of him.
It's a very kind offer indeed, and very unique situation.
Yeah.
I noticed I felt the shift. It's impressive that they were successful. It's not easy to restart the gods.
Well, they weren't exactly fully successful. We sort of accidentally caused the end of the world.
That was you.
Well, not directly me. I guess I had a hand in it because I was helping them, but it was the paladin who ended the world. Vizar is still a god. He's still the god of space, and there's several of him now. About 9, I think. But, yeah, Stormwind ended the world. That's the paladin.
You would think that ending the world would be harder than replacing a god.
Oh, yeah, you would think. He, utterly destroyed the god. Well, he sort of betrayed us and tried to become the god of time and space. So he tried to kill Vizar.
Rude.
Yeah, I know. Very rude.
And rather ironic coming from a paladin.
He was a bit of a, how do you say it? Oh, oxymoron, I believe
That's
it was.
a good word for it.
Yeah.
Also, moron.
Yes, definitely moron. Oh boy, yeah, well, and then the world ended. And I don't really know much what happened after that until about 5 years ago, when I woke up covered in dirt in the middle of the forest with only this left of what came before, this little shard of a purple gem.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that you survived and made it to this world.
Yes.
Very unfortunate what happened to your old world.
Yeah, this shard of gem, it's actually the only gift my father has ever given me.
A piece of your past or a reminder of the failure.
So I could become something else than what he created. He gave to me the last gem we needed. He had kept it on his person at all times, and he gave it to me. And I thought he died. He did die. Massa did die. So, about a few months ago, I ran into one of my old friends, one of my party members from the inn. They were alive too. They had been around for much longer than I was here, but I realized I wasn't the only one who made it. The only one who was reborn, if you will.
Was everyone from your world, or just those who were involved in what ended it?
Well, they were there at the end. Her brother didn't make it, sadly. Well, not really sadly. I've come to find out he was a bit of a sadistic jerk, as I found out. But it was nice to see a familiar face, and then I walk outside of the goblin cave we met in, and I met Sakido.
The person that works at this establishment, yes?
Well, he doesn't work here. He's an expert in all things alcohol and substances that will meddle your mind. He's a bard.
That explains it.
Yes, but more than that, he spent more than 1,000 years in a bar, in an inn, trapped between dimensions that survived the end of the world. And I knew immediately when I saw him who he really was.
Who was he?
Oh, well, when you try to get someone to notice you for 270 odd years, you will recognize them no matter what form they take. It was my father. My father made
Your
it.
father survived as well and has become a bard.
Yes, he's now mortal, no longer a god. Thank goodness for all of us here. He would not do well in his current mental state with godlike powers.
Fair? Do you think he meant for this to happen when he gave you the gem?
No, I do not think he meant for this to happen. All that he really wanted was to get Tammy back. That was the god of space. He refers to her as my mother, but that's not really possible as she was dead long before I came along. But he really loved her, and so he was trying to get her back, but I guess we all didn't get what we expected at the end.
So, what have you been doing these past 5 years with your unexpected newfound life?
Well, before I met my father again, a few months ago, I was just wandering, really. I didn't really have a purpose or anything that I could do or anything really familiar to me because I had lived 270 odd years in one way, and then right at the end I finally got a life, and then it was gone, and then I got it again. So it's mostly a blur until a few months ago, really.
I imagine it's more than a lot to get used to.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sorry if this is too heavy. I know some stories are more lighthearted. It's just strange.
You don't need to apologize. It's not something you should have to carry on your own.
Oh, well, my father has been something I've mostly been carrying on my own. I've decided to think of this as a gift, this life, and the fact that I found him again, because all I really wanted was, I guess, a life and a family. And, well, he's not the family I wanted, but he's the family I've got.
We don't always get to choose our family.
Yes, well,
But at least you get a second chance with yours.
Yes, second chances. It's now we have almost all the time in the world. We did have all the time in the world before, but we never used it. Now we have it.
You have a perspective that most people don't, and I wish more people would.
Yes.
How important and special time can be.
Yes, especially when the god of time, he has an interesting time now. For sure.
I wonder if he can remember this, if he can remember everything as you do. Perhaps that's why he is so interested in the drink and the things that alter his mind. It's because it's too much for him to process as a mortal now.
Yeah, I think that's it. He also still has a bit of that power craving. I'm worried about him. He likes to wander off, try to get powers from dubious sources.
Never a good idea.
Yeah. But I really think he's trying to be present and be with me. He's definitely not a traditional father in any sense, nor, I would say, a good one. But
there's not much traditional about your situation.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again.
But that doesn't mean you can't find a way to make the best of it. And perhaps in time it'll get to where you want it to be.
Yeah, and I guess nothing ever for me has been traditional or what people consider normal. I used to sometimes turn into a potted plant, for goodness sakes.
That's different.
Yeah, part of the chaos thing, I couldn't control the magic within me, so whenever I did something would happen. Illusions, fire, I turned our paladin blue.
I imagine he was rather not thrilled about that.
Yeah, but it was really funny.
Oh, I have no doubt. It sounds rather like the magic some sorcerers have, where when they perform certain spells, magic reacts unpredictably sometimes, except that sounds like the entirety of what you did.
Yes, I have heard of those, and I've met some, and it is very similar to what would happen to me, but it seems to happen less frequently.
I was about to ask, do you still have magic?
Oh, I do. I have magic from this soul I was given, a divine soul. So I have magic from that, thanks to Vizar. And now I can control it, which is a gift.
Very useful.
Yes. I no longer am afraid I'm going to set any taverns on fire by sneezing, which is nice.
That would be rather awkward and probably get you banned from every tavern in existence.
Oh, we still do, but it's not my fault this time.
Do you still travel and go on adventures?
Yes, I've been traveling with my father and this new party that we've made. They're all very strange, but I'm used to that. The strangest one is a 3-foot tall squirrel. He's a whole other can of worms, but...
I was not expecting that sentence today, but I guess with the rest of this conversation I shouldn't be too shocked, though I do have questions.
His name's Leon, and he would find you before you would find him.
Is he sneaky?
Very. He definitely is not a savory sort of character, but he's very kind. But besides that, I have been doing some traveling on my own recently. Sort of, I guess, in response to certain choices my father has made. He's definitely not afraid of making bad decisions in plain view of me, though. So I'm deciding to go off on my own for a little bit.
Sometimes, as much as we wish we could, we can't control those around us, and as much as I have no doubt that you love him, you sometimes will have to leave him to deal with the consequences of his own actions.
Yes, I do love him. I've sort of, I guess, come to terms with that. I mean, as someone who wasn't loved by them for 270 years. I think he loves me in his way. He did allow me obtain this life that I have. He gave it in a way, but he's not the best at showing it.
Sometimes fathers aren't. You just have to find your own way. You can't let your parents' decisions or failures hold you back from who you want to be. He gave you a chance to be whoever or whatever you desired, as did your friend.
You're right, but I don't think I'll be gone long. I miss him, as strange as that sounds. He's a pain in the neck and finds trouble faster than a bee finds honey, but I miss him. He's part of me, I guess.
He's still your father, as annoying as he can be.
As reckless and chaotic and stubborn, but yeah.
Family can be strange sometimes, almost as strange as everything else in this world.
Well, the strangeness of the world hardly causes me to blink. I've seen stranger than you could possibly believe. And I lived in an entirely different world for the majority of my very long life. So I've seen a few things.
Have you ever thought about what you would like to do in this world? If you could do anything, what would it be?
I would sail on an ocean. I haven't done that. I am actually trying right now to find the ocean. Something we didn't have, really, where we were. And I've never seen it, and I've always wanted to see it. I've heard stories about it, but that's what I want to do. I want to see the ocean.
It's a rather beautiful and oftentimes alluring thing.
So I've heard. Beautiful yet dangerous.
Who knows? Maybe you'll find a new home and a new life for yourself there.
Maybe, but I may get some wanderlust in there somewhere. I mean, I have this life. Why not use it?
Exactly. Whatever fate decides to give us, we have to make the best of it. It's not like we're getting anything else.
And, well, fate isn't always as set in stone as you think. So, life is much too short. 270 years can be too short.
Yes, that's true. There's far too many things to do and see, meet, adventures to be had.
Yeah.
How about another round of drinks? We can talk some more. Maybe I can tell you some of my journeys to the ocean.
I would love that.
We can talk about things that would be fun to do in the future.
This round's on me.
Because your future is very bright, my friend.
Aw.
And I'm glad to have met you.
I'm glad to have met you too. What was your name again?
Isra.
Isra. Lovely.
I'm also from a world that was but is no longer. Thankfully, I was able to get all of my people to safety.
You have many people?
Not that any of them remember.
Ah.
It does not bother me. The important part is that they're all safe and are able to live their lives. I don't need to be remembered as a hero.
Ain't that the truth?
Tales of Adventure is directed and produced by me, Brianna Toiber, as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network. The music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what I'm doing and would like to support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/pseudonymsocial and choose one of the tiers connected to Tales of Adventure. You can also leave a review on iTunes to make our show easier to find for those who need it.